For years, people were told to stop questioning Jeffrey Epstein and the powerful figures connected to him. They were told it was all rumors, reckless internet talk, and nothing more. But after new files and messages were released, those old questions are becoming much harder to dismiss. Now, unexpected names, including Ellen, are rumored to have been linked to disturbing crimes involving the disgraced financier. Investigators who examined Epstein's records say his inner circle was a close group that communicated through strange codes, unusual phrases, and behavior that seemed confusing at first. Words like pizza, pasta, and especially jerky appeared repeatedly in emails, not as normal food discussions, but in ways that raised serious concerns. Even lawmakers who reviewed unedited files described the language as disturbing and difficult to understand.
There was also a lot of language that appears to be coded regarding food. I wanted to let you know the crew really appreciated the pizza. Another email read, "This is better than a Chinese cookie. See attached. Let's go for pizza and grape soda again." This one talks about, yeah, that's the pizza. You mean radiating a soft glow with the look of bliss and excitement. There's one more, I think, in this list as well. "Sorry, I have no stomach for even the slightest aggro. I don't have the stomach for it for any drama, imaginary or real. I'm still fragile off the last one and scared of shadows." This is in response to some videos that were shared where Jeffrey Epstein himself says, "I watched all of these videos. Don't send any more." And then Ghislaine is like, "I can't stomach any of this." What the fuck did you send that Jeffrey Epstein was like?
One of them, Anna Paulina Luna, confirmed that the emails contained coded language and references involving minors. She publicly stated that these terms were being used in ways that did not appear normal, and that the word jerky especially did not seem to refer to food when considered in context. Later, a forensic expert also suggested that these terms were likely being used as euphemisms for something far more disturbing.
One of them, Anna Paulina Luna, confirmed that these emails included coded phrases and descriptions involving minors. She openly said that the way these words were used was not normal, and that jerky in particular didn't sound like food at all when read in context. A forensic expert would later come out to say that these were likely euphemisms for something much, much worse.
I'll give you another example here. Epstein sends a message to someone. She looks pregnant, reacting to a photo. And the client replies back to Epstein, "You mean radiating a soft glow with a look of bliss and excitement? Yeah, that's the pizza." It cannot be clearer than this that this is a code word. It makes no sense in that context whatsoever. And this the example I gave you earlier, when his virologist gave him the medicine for having erectile dysfunction, I assume, and or it could be even Viagra, and then told him to wash his hands, go have pizza and grape soda. Has been mentioned time and time again. Having adult men, successful men that are very health oriented, constantly talk about pizza with grape soda, which I've never heard before.
Yeah, I've never heard of pizza and grape soda before this. I don't know if that specific combination was part of the whole Pizzagate thing, but it's definitely mentioned a lot because I saw that phrase, so I looked it up and was like, is this actually in there multiple times? And it most definitely is.
There's another one here. Have you seen the beef jerky mentioned as well? There's an email here from Jeffrey Epstein, someone else says, Francis has time to come tomorrow to show me how to make it. Jerky, anyone? He will also bring you a taste of his jerky recipe from the restaurant and sends a warm hello. He's working at a restaurant called Cook's. Wait for it, beef jerky and steak. Yes, time at 3 p.m. There's other emails of him talking about beef jerky. Another one here Jeffrey Epstein sending it to Steve Hansen saying, "Hope you're feeling better. Did we analyze the beef? Did we analyze the jerky?" Now there's talks about jerky, referencing human meat. It could be for scientific research. It could be something else that's even sicker. But there's more emails here talking about beef jerky. Have you had time to go through those? There's one here. "Thank you so much. Super cool. IT guy setting up Surface right now. We are ridiculously excited, and beef jerky delicious. Thank you, Thanksgiving." So yeah.
It is very. Now I've got all those emails saved. I'd actually had somebody send to me all of those to say, "Hey, would you check this out?" So I have them. I have not read through all of them, but there's no shortage of terms that are phrased in a peculiar way. Muffin is another one. I've seen that a couple of times. I talked about when he says "whoops." That seems to be in very sometimes he says that in very odd terms that seem like they're referring to somebody dying or getting. So there definitely seem to be code words.
Email after email mentioned jerky being kept in freezers, moved in insulated bags, delivered quickly, and passed between Epstein and people close to him. The messages sounded relaxed and even friendly, but the details raised major concerns. Now, some famous names are facing renewed attention, including Ellen DeGeneres. For years, she was seen as the cheerful face of daytime television, known for being funny, friendly, and harmless. But according to unverified claims from insiders and whistleblowers, her name has been placed closer to Epstein's circle than many people expected. One viral rumor even accused her of being Hollywood's most prolific cannibal and claimed she had ties to Epstein. Supporters of the rumor allege that she helped introduce people, arranged connections, and kept certain matters out of public view. None of these claims have been proven in court, but the accusations still shocked many people who had watched her for years. That led some people to revisit earlier warnings. One example often mentioned is Justin Bieber, who once spoke about feeling afraid, uncomfortable, and unprotected as a young star. At the time, many people dismissed those comments as pressure caused by fame and stress. Now, some believe he may have been trying to alert others without knowing how to explain what was happening or without being taken seriously. Others also remember how quickly fact-checkers responded whenever similar claims surfaced. Another disturbing claim connected to the alleged circle involves a young model named Gabriela Jimenez, who reportedly broke down outside a hotel in 2009 and screamed that she had witnessed something horrifying involving powerful guests.
Me dijeron a quién mataron, a la reina de Escocia, a la reina de Inglaterra, a las princesas y todo Disneylandia, mataron a Mickey Mouse, también por eso, ¿qué? Aquí va a venir mi madre. Tú los están locos, mataron a mucha gente, huele a tratarse de humano, lárgate, comieron humanos, asquerosidad, comieron humanos. Yo no estaba enterada de nada, que había, los asesinatos sí, pero que habían comido humanos, humanos. Fuera la carne humana llevan, a mí no me llevan hasta que esto no se aclare, a mí no me llevan, ustedes que estuvieron ahí, fueron a sacar una copia, para que me intentaran, no, suéltame, suéltame.
One clip that continues to attract attention features Chrissy Teigen, who has been a longtime friend of Ellen DeGeneres. During the interview, Chrissy made shocking remarks about being willing to eat human flesh if the person gave permission. When she was asked about it again, she did not treat it as a joke and repeated her position. She said there was almost nothing she would refuse to eat, drink, or try, and that she would eat human flesh if the person agreed. When asked whether she would take a small bite at an expensive restaurant, she again said no. At the time, many people viewed the comments as dark humor. Hollywood has always had a reputation for pushing shocking jokes. But after the Epstein files became public, some viewers began questioning why anyone would make comments like that. Online researchers also point out that Chrissy had attended major celebrity events, including gatherings linked to Diddy and political figures. Another part of the discussion involves a rare disease called Kuru. The condition was identified during the 20th century among certain communities in Papua New Guinea. Scientists discovered that it is caused by prion, which are damaged proteins that can attack the brain. It may cause shaking, poor muscle control, and problems with speech. After an old video appeared showing Jeffrey Epstein making unusual movements with his mouth, some internet users began suggesting that he may have had Kuru. Medical experts, however, cautioned that a complicated brain disorder cannot be diagnosed from a short video. Even so, the speculation spread rapidly online.
I know I'm about to sound completely insane, but just hear me out. This pertains to the Epstein files, the Clintons, and cannibalism, and I feel completely fine and am totally okay. Alright, let's do this. How do we know if someone is a cannibal? Well, they could have the Kuru disease, which is a fatal neurodegenerative disease that spreads through eating brain tissue. It has a long incubation period, 10 to 30 years. Early symptoms are headaches, coordination issues, anxiety, and inappropriate laughter. Middle stage, severe tremors and shaking, loss of balance, and slurred speech. Late stage, inability to walk, dementia, and the forever sleep. Do you know of any elites rumored to have consumed human flesh? But I'm not accusing anyone of anything. This is just a fun little joke video. With truth in the mix, in Papua New Guinea they call human long pig. We just love to have fun here. No, the Kuru disease has nothing to do with the Epstein files or anyone in them. Definitely not the Clintons. And I feel fantastic. So, yeah. Have a good day. Okay, thanks.
Supporters of these theories argue that powerful figures sometimes step away from public life while pointing to health concerns as the reason. They believe sudden disappearances from the spotlight can raise questions. On one side are the serious and documented crimes directly connected to Epstein, including offenses established through court proceedings. On the other side is a flood of online accusations, extreme theories, and viral videos that often blur the line between confirmed facts and speculation. Between these two sides are well-known figures from Hollywood and politics, especially when people begin revisiting the history behind earlier allegations. New claims appeared in August 2025, 5 years after the workplace controversy that ultimately brought the Ellen DeGeneres show to an end. This time, a former cameraman spoke with the Daily Mail and described what he considered a tense and uncomfortable workplace. He alleged that Ellen treated male employees poorly and claimed the program went through many male staff members. He even said there were 9 different stage managers during one season. According to his account, staff believed Ellen did not like men. He also described something employees reportedly called the Ellen gaze. He said that when she became angry, her eyes would narrow and her cheekbones would tighten. To him, the expression felt intimidating, like someone preparing to punish the next person in line. He also said Ellen's wife, Portia de Rossi, was kind and pleasant with employees. However, he made another unusual claim. He alleged that Ellen could become upset when male employees appeared too comfortable while talking with Portia. Because of this, staff reportedly hoped they would not be seated close to her wife at events so they could avoid attracting Ellen's attention. A year earlier, in late 2024, reports claimed that Ellen and Portia had quietly left the United States after Donald Trump won the presidential election. Some outlets suggested the move was politically motivated, but others questioned whether that was the full explanation. After the story spread online, Elon Musk responded to a post suggesting that Ellen's departure could have another reason. The post pointed toward her previous social connections with Diddy, who was facing major legal problems, and noted that Ellen had been publicly invited to one of his interviews. The pressure surrounding Ellen DeGeneres was not limited to internet rumors. It was also coming from former employees of her own show. That summer, 36 former staff members spoke with reporters about what they described as a toxic workplace. Their allegations included harassment, inappropriate conduct, and misconduct involving 3 executive producers. The controversy grew quickly after BuzzFeed News published a detailed investigation. NPR later obtained a memo Ellen had sent to her staff, in which she apologized.
Welcome to season 18 of the Ellen DeGeneres Show.
A new chapter. That's what Ellen promised today as she returned to her studio and spoke out for the first time about the controversy swirling around her.
This summer, there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show. And then there was an investigation. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened.
She apologized and promised to do better.
The truth is, I am that person that you see on TV. I am also a lot of other things. Sometimes I get sad, I get mad, I get anxious, I get frustrated, I get impatient, and I am working on all of that. I am a work in progress. And if I've ever let someone down, if I've ever hurt their feelings, I am so sorry for that.
But one former Ellen producer isn't buying it. Hedda Muscat worked on The Ellen Show back in 2003.
Phony, liar, hypocrite. That's my reaction. She's known about this for 17 years. She's created this culture. I was there from day one. We were all petrified of her. She was not nice.
According to some former staff members, the deeper problem was the workplace culture itself. Several employees said there was no secure or private system for reporting complaints. Others claimed that senior employees discouraged workers from speaking out. Warner Brothers, the studio responsible for the show, eventually opened an internal investigation. Some executive producers were removed, and public statements followed. But critics online began asking a simple question. Why did the situation take so long to address? Then another name entered the discussion and added another side to the story. A 3-second video clip from the Epstein files shows convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein being given a tour of the Louvre by Jack Lang. The 86-year-old former culture minister had known Epstein for years and reportedly used his car and private plane. Lang told French media that he met Epstein through Woody Allen and said he would have ended the relationship if he had known Epstein was involved in a criminal network. However, Lang's family's connection to Epstein went beyond a personal acquaintance. French investigative outlet Mediapart reported that Epstein opened an offshore account in the U.S. Virgin Islands in 2016, with half of the shares reportedly belonging to Caroline Lang, the former minister's daughter. Her name also appeared in Epstein's will, which was signed shortly before his death in prison. The document reportedly promised her $5 million. Caroline Lang responded to the report, saying the offshore account was intended for art investments and that Epstein never paid her or provided her with financial investment. Mediapart also reported that Lang did not declare the St. Thomas account to French tax authorities. She later resigned from her position as head of a film producers organization. Meanwhile, Ellen's list of celebrity critics continued to grow. In June 2025, comedian Margaret Cho said on a podcast that Ellen had been a mean person behind the scenes. Cho said they had known each other for years through the stand-up comedy scene, but when she appeared on Ellen's talk show, she was treated like a...
What, Ellen?
Ellen was like really weird and not nice to me for most of my career. And like, cause I opened for her in the 1980s.
Oh, you did?
When she was a headliner in comedy clubs. Wow. And not way before her big fame.
Uh-huh.
And so then when I would do her talk show in the 2000s, she acted like we just met. And I'm like, what?
One of those types.
I'm like, what? Like, that's weird. Like,
right.
It's like, we go way back. What? Like, it's so creepy and weird. But, also the other thing was David Bowie had been on the show, and he was so excited that the night before that I had come to his show wearing this giant Chinese emperor outfit. He was really thrilled about it, and he talked at length about it. And she cut it out of the show, which made me so mad. And the producer, who's a really good friend of mine, had to call me and tell me, I can't believe she did this, but she cut it out of the show. But you need to know that he was going on and on about your outfit.
Oh
he loves you. God said your name.
Is so petty.
Which is so rude.
That is so gross.
I don't know if it was personal. Maybe it was for time.
Right.
But still, I'm going to take it personally just because I decided to.
You should have sent her a note and said, send me the footage. I'll post it to my YouTube.
I know it exists somewhere.
The truth we're looking for seems to be buried somewhere between confirmed facts, personal grudges, internet speculation, and real pain from people who say they were mistreated. What do you think the truth is? Let us know in the comments below.